Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I'm cleaning out my garage. I do a lot of work with dogs, so obviously have a ton of dog stuff. So to kind of get rid of some of the things that I don't use anymore, I thought this would actually be a good opportunity to show you some of the things that I use on the regular, things that I want to keep in my cabinets in the garage for dog use when I'm training or working on specific behavior modification plans. So I've emptied out one of the cabinets. This is only a portion of some of the stuff that I have, but some of the more important things. So I want to walk through some of the items that I personally use, some things that I have that I don't use and don't recommend, just to give you a comparison of what I use as a professional so that you can look out for some items that might be helpful in your journey bonding with your dog. If you like this video, please be sure to let me know. Hit that like button, go ahead and ring that bell, and hit the subscribe button to receive more videos and more content just like this. Let's get started. So as you can see, I have a wide array of things on my table, and I'm literally just gonna go left all the way to right to show you what some of these things are, what I use, and what I'm gonna get rid of because I don't really use a whole lot. First up are leashes. There are so many different types of leashes out there. Which one to use and which one to pick? Well, I can tell you what I use the most of. Most frequently, I use this piece to the hands-free leash. So the hands-free leash comes with a belt that you can put around yourself, and this piece right here, often I just hook this to my belt loop, but this is my #1 most used training tool because I like to free up the hands to actually work with the dogs, whether with toys and play or for reward, things like that. The second type of leash that I use the most is actually a long line. This gives me a lot of control in working with my dogs, helps me building recall, and I can give them plenty of freedom, but still having some good control in case something impulsive comes by or they respond to something in their environment in a way they shouldn't. Other types of leashes that I have, but I don't actually use anymore, you can see these are thicker, kind of vinyl type leashes. If you have a dog in particular that pulls, this can be really uncomfortable in your hand. So even though I have these and have collected them over the years, I don't actually use these. My preference is a very thin leather lead or vegan leather lead, like a Latigo lead, which I don't actually have any representatives of today because I've lent them out to all my clients. So I need more leather leads on hand, and I need to get rid of these other thick, heavy leads. One thing that people don't seem to realize too is that the thicker and the bigger the leash is doesn't mean it's really any more sturdy or necessary. A thin lead, half this size, is really strong enough for any type of dog when you're working with training. I do have slip leads in my car that I keep on the regular because I do roll through some neighborhoods sometimes where I see dogs that are on chains or cables, so I like to have those handy just to swap them out with a slip lead instead of something that's really uncomfortable for the dog or really unsafe for the owner even to be walking them on. This is another type of slip lead that we use occasionally on and off. This one's a little bit thick. I like the thinner slip leads. They're a lot easier to work with. Treat pouches. I've yet to find a favorite treat pouch, so this is like half of my treat pouch stock that I go through here. I'm gonna be getting rid of probably these two to start. This one's just too big and too heavy and too cumbersome to manage. I really like the size of this because I have small hands, but it doesn't have anywhere for poop bags to go or my keys or my phone. So hence the reason I'll probably keep this one around for a little while as well. So side note, if you have an awesome treat pouch that you use and you recommend, please send me a comment and let me know because I go through treat pouches like most women go through shoes. So there's that. On to bowls. A couple different bowls that I use and keep that I like. One is a slow feed bowl. This is one example. This is a Kong bowl. So it helps the dogs slow down in their eating process. You can also use a regular bowl and pop a couple of balls in it for kind of the same slowing down of the feeding anyway, but I also like these metal bowls that have the non-slip bottoms, especially for puppies that are first learning how to eat out of bowls. It helps it from moving around. And then lastly is my travel bowl. This is one that I got from Dublin Dogs several years ago that I love because you can just pop it open. You got a water side, a food side, super easy to clean. You can clip it to their vest if they're a big dog. If not, very lightweight, easy to take along. Make sure the dogs are super well hydrated, especially in the heat. I love these. Definitely some enrichment toys back here. Nice Kong Frisbee, I'll be keeping that. That's a lot of fun to play with. And I have multiple different types of puzzle toys on hand to really mentally work my dogs. Dogs that are worked mentally are much happier overall and prove to have longer lives. So different types of stimulating toys are really good to have on hand. I'll be keeping those as well. Over here, I got a couple of grooming supplies. I use veterinary approved products for the most part. So you can see I've got some animal pharmaceutical products. This is a Pharmaceb. This is for ear cleaning. I clean out their ears every few weeks after I give them a bath. Cookie spray, just because I like the smell of it. But it's also, again, veterinary approved, so it's not harmful to their skin or their coat. A little bit of waterless shampoo just for quick wipe-offs, especially with paws when it's really muddy outside. I've got a paw washer I use, but this helps just to get some of that overall dirt and dander off. I don't like to overbathe my dogs because it dries out the coat and can really kind of disrupt the oils that are in their skin that are protective. So I use the wipes occasionally for that. I do have a nail trim video if you want to see why I have kind of a multitude of different nail trimmers for the most part. These are definitely my go-to favorite. There's no guard on them, so you can check out the nail trimming video for more information about those. This I have on hand, not because I use these, but specifically for demonstration purposes only. If you want to know why I do not recommend using retractable leashes, which this is, you can check out my video on how to safely use a retractable leash. But that I just have on hand for a demonstration, so we'll keep that tucked away. Another thing that I don't recommend that is in my collection here is a no bark collar. This is an aversive method that there's two different ways this works. It sends off a smell, a citronella smell, and a spray, which can spray the dog in the face and be really concerning and very negative to the dog, and also can emit a sound that they really don't like. I'm not a big fan of using aversives. I'm more about tackling kind of the root of the problem as to why there's excessive barking to begin with, so that's gonna go in the garbage. The other thing I have here is a bandana. Seems pretty simple, but I do use this occasionally to spray pheromones on. I use Adaptil every once in a while with dogs that are nervous, just to kind of help soothe them a little bit if they're good with things tied around their neck. I always make sure that this is very clean. As you can see right now, it's not, it's been used, but I always clean them with perfume-free, dye-free wash before applying any spray and using it on the next dog. But that's something great for veterinary visits and kind of desensitizing them to things that they're afraid of. Okay, so we're about halfway through the table and I'm moving pretty quickly because I don't want this to be a super long video, but just so you're aware, I'm gonna put links to all of my favorite items in the description to this video below. So if you don't catch what I'm saying initially in the beginning and I'm passing over something quickly, I'm gonna put everything in the description for you. So if you wanna purchase some of these items, you'll know where to find them and what I use them for in the description as well. Okay, so moving on to poop bags. Super important. My favorite poop bags are biodegradable poop bags for obvious reasons, but please always have some of these on hand. These are some poop bag holders that I have that I attach to my leash, but I also like the, again, treat pouches that you can just toss these in. Everywhere I go, I take poop bags. On to some clickers. I prefer traditional clickers. Again, most of mine are lent out. This is an automatic one that's battery powered. This right here is actually an ultrasonic trainer. It works similar to a clicker. Has a positive sound and a negative sound that I'm not going to push because my dog is actually in the room. But for the most part with clicker training, I like the old traditional old-fashioned clickers. This one's a little on the slow side, but it is quieter, which I like too. A couple more items of enrichment here, just a quick little frisbee and some balls that I use to play with. I've got one of my favorite toys, which is actually for target, touch and target practice. This is the alley-oop. I'll put a link to this in the description as well, of course, and I actually have a video on how to teach touch using this. It's a lot of fun, but this is probably one of my favorite toys to use with dogs with behavior and training. A couple more grooming items. I do train service dogs, so I've got some service dog patches, but these are also great for dogs that, not service dog patches, but patches are great for dogs that have issues with other people, strangers approaching, so you can have do not pet and caution patches that you can put on a vest for your dog, or in training if you don't want anyone to interrupt all of your training progress that you're making in public. But I've got all my patches here, we'll keep those. Now moving on to a couple of other treats. This antler is old and was given to me by somebody else as well when I was visiting at their house, but I don't really recommend the use of these because of how easily a dog can fracture their teeth. They love to chew on them, but it's really not a safe treat. This, on the other hand, is a yak puff. It looks hard, but it's actually a good bit softer and it breaks apart a lot easier. So I got this at one of the local pet stores, Pet Wants Urban Feed Store, and it will not fracture the teeth the way that these antlers will. Same problem that you see with ice cubes half the time. Some treats, some rewards. I always carry a variety of different rewards to see what food motivates the dogs that I'm working with. I'm a big fan of the Zooks. I use their minis a lot because they're small, they're bite-sized. You're not gonna over feed them or give them too many calories because they're tiny little rewards. And then also, I'm sure you've probably seen, if you've watched my videos, I'm a big fan of Nom Nom, and these are the treats that Nom Nom makes. These are beef jerky treats. They also make chicken treats, but the dogs love these. I use these a lot for impulse control reward systems because it's a long piece that I can control how much they're getting and how much they're not, but the dogs go nuts over these. These are made in the US. So you can check out some of my Nom Nom videos to see why in particular I like this company above the others. So I always carry some of those jerky treats. Another type of treat that I use is the Kong Squeezy cheese sometimes. This is the peanut butter flavor. They have cheese, but these are great for using with muzzles. You can put it on the front of the muzzle that you're using. You can usually get it in between muzzles like this that aren't really prepped well for a reward system, a treat system. I use this in baby pouches. So like this muzzle in particular, there's not a lot of area to give food reward. So squeezy cheese is great for that. I do have a few different types of muzzles here, but my favorite is the Baskerville. I do recommend this a lot because especially with some of the wider face dogs that I work with, you can put it in warm water and you can stretch it out and you can make it size appropriate. I'll have some links to muzzles in the videos, so if you want to do some positive muzzle conditioning with your dog, you can do that as well. Back here are just regular dental treats. These are dental safe treats with enzymes to help clean their teeth. Some more interactive fun toys that we've got here. Booklets. Education, education, education. Education is key. So this is Sophia Yin's Teaching Fido Learn to Earn. This is a methodology with how to develop relationships with dogs. So I give these booklets to almost every single client and a lot of the kids that I work with too, because it's easy for kids to understand as well. Also, one of my most used items, you can see how disgusting and dirty it is, which is kind of embarrassing, but gives you an idea as to how frequently I use this. This is just a paw washer. It's probably one of the most inexpensive gifts we've ever received, but my dogs love to run through the mud and I don't like a lot of mud in my house. So I just pop this at the door with some clean water in it, pop their paws in it a few times, wipe them off, give them a treat, and on they go. Nice clean paws, but this is definitely one of my most used items. Over here, a couple of vests, a bunch of different stuff going on. These are vests that I use for service dog training, so we're gonna keep these in the garage, obviously. I've got them labeled with working dog. Again, if you're training a dog that you just want to have people stay back from, a vest is a good indicator for that. You can slap on an in-training patch or a please do not pet patch. Aside from that, I've got just a typical life vest for safety in the water. And then one of my favorite vest items is this pack right here. I use this to take the dogs hiking. This is from Roughwear. I'll put a link in the description so you can see that, but it comes with these water pouches here, so I can always make sure that my dog is hydrated, but this gives them a heck of a workout applying this pack on them. Has a spot for your keys, your phone, your poop bags, of course. But if you want to get them a really good workout, one of these packs is a really good way to do that. Have them burn some extra calories. You can put all your stuff in it, take them for a hike, make sure they're hydrated. So I'm a big fan of packs like this when you're working and exercising a dog specifically. So for the most part, that's it. That's really the majority of the items that were in my garage. Now I did weed some stuff out. I've got some flirt poles, a little of agility equipment for fun too, but that's primarily it. Overall, the things that I use the most that I think everybody should pretty much have in their garage cabinets for their dogs are the hands-free leash. Again, you can use this in the car to hook them up. You can attach them to you. This is a great way to build your bond. Really good with teaching leash communication so you don't over-communicate with the leash. A good treat pouch, again, still on the look for the perfect one, but I use this most frequently just so that I can always offer reward to my dogs when they're doing things that I like, when they're exhibiting behaviors I want more of. If you have any questions about any of the items that I presented today that are here in my own toolbox after I clean everything out, please post your questions in the comments below and I'll try to help you navigate what the best items are to have in your dog training and your dog behavior modification toolbox as well. Thanks again for watching. Please remember to hit that like button if you like this video, ring the bell, and hit the subscribe to receive more content just like it.